Well, it looks like the Chinese Titanic is officially dead. At least the latest update we got on it. Elon Musk and Twitter banning the Chinese Titanic account on there. Nobody really knows why, but it says they're banned for violating rules. Of course, the Chinese Titanic, in my opinion, it was just a sloppy version, of the original Titanic. When you actually look at the more recent renderings, it doesn't even look like the portholes are correct. Maybe that's just because they were renderings, but I've seen some of them. They look really bad. Either way, at this point, with the most recent photos we've seen of it all the way back in 2021, it seems like there's a lot of different Chinese projects that have really slowed down due to the pandemic, and we don't really know what's going on at this point with the Chinese Titanic. You know what? We don't know what's going on with Titanic 2 either. Both of these projects have just been dead in the water. Of course, I would much rather have Titanic 2 happen because that's actually a ship that would travel. There's been some debate, people wondering, is Titanic 2 a cruise ship or an ocean liner? I would more so consider it a cruise ship because it's just a complete replica. So to me, it's more of like, going on it, they built it the exact same as 1912. That to me makes it more of a cruise ship. But when it comes to the Chinese Titanic, originally the cost of it $161 million, a lot less than the Titanic 2. And construction on this started all the way back in 2016, with the most recent update coming in 2021. The most recent thing related to the project was Twitter banning the account that was in association to giving updates on this project. They would also mainly update on the Facebook. And when it comes to their construction, I was able to find maybe a few more rare photos. One of the photos actually showed some of it painted, and I was like, is this a new update? Because I've never seen this photo, but no, it was from their 2021 update right after, the pandemic started. Everyone thought this project was going to be put on hold, but they came out in 2021 and said, listen, this is continuing. We're doing it. It's going to be a museum. It's going to be docked on the side. It's not going to go anywhere. It's like a tourist attraction. Now, the Chinese replica, just like Titanic 2, would also have new features. Titanic 2 was going to have a whole nother deck. And it makes sense. They have to fit the lifeboats underneath the ship, so they have to build another deck just to have room for the lifeboats. But even the Chinese version of it was going to have an extra ballroom and a theater, and it was going to accommodate around 2,400 passengers and 900 staff. In late 2018, the project's construction had resumed after a big layoff, and in March of 2021, they posted images on Facebook showing about 25% complete as of late 2022. The official website has been offline for over a year now. In September of 2022, a London-based financial site attempted to contact the project but received no response. And then the recent update in 2023, their Twitter page has been maybe indefinitely suspended or flat out banned for some type of, I'm not going to speculate, maybe some type of manipulation, maybe they were inactive, I don't know. Maybe it was just Twitter doing a bunch of bans when Musk took over to accounts that they thought were inactive or bot activity. I know they tried really limiting that, but either way, in my opinion, where is the project right now? Can we get photos, aerial photos of it? I think it's abandoned. I think it's an abandoned construction site. This is two projects now with China to where I don't even try and seek this stuff out. It just comes to me. The first project was the $1 billion super stadium that has just completely gone abandoned. They were trying to build a Lotus Flower super stadium in China. It was going to be the biggest soccer stadium in the world. It's not going to be the biggest anymore because Barcelona's doing a renovation, but that's minor facts. Either way, that whole project was about a quarter of the way built, and that went abandoned. And now we have this project, which is about 25% done, probably rusting, I would say, at this point. So the update on this, I did an update on Titanic 2. I still think Titanic 2 is going to happen. it is inevitable. I don't know if Clive Palmer's going to do it, but they do have legitimate renderings. He needs to come out and give an update on it. The fact that he hasn't done it in the past 2 years is very concerning for the future of that project. Another billionaire or super rich person might take it over that's obsessed with the Titanic. I could also see that, and probably follow a similar design. I would imagine if there is a Titanic 2 that's going to be made, it's going to be very, they're going to want the lifeboats on top to match how Titanic actually was. If you do that, you have to put the real lifeboats under it. The only recent article I could find of the Chinese replica combines both the Titanic 2 and the replica in China into one article. Will the plans for the 2 new Titanics succeed or sink? And it's just a horrible MSN slideshow article from April of 2023. I couldn't even click through the thing. You can't do a slideshow. It's just, so there's really no updates, even from, any sort of articles anywhere. The only real updates in terms of articles being written about the Chinese project were in May of 2021. That's the last update we've gotten. So it's over 2 years later now. I'll be honest, I would be completely fine if they just made a complete replica and we said, you know what? Yeah, I know it's illegal, but you make an exception. You say, yes, there's not enough lifeboats for the people on board, but that's the whole story of Titanic. That's what makes it real. I would be okay if they did that, but no, it's illegal. You can't do that. So they have to build an extra deck. And I still think the Titanic 2 project will happen probably by 2030, but they do need to get the construction going at some point. I would imagine it would cost around $800 million. Listen, I'll take this project. It can happen, and I'd be interested to see the interior of it, because the interior of it is supposed to be as big as the Titanic, an exact replica, but then the renderings show the portholes all warped. It looks like one of those Disney with the massive portholes, like one of those kids' cruise ships. It just doesn't make any sense. If you're building an exact replica, you should build the exact replica. So I still would be interested if they did go back and complete this, but with all the information that we have, their Twitter account has been banned. Their own page, their own web page has been inactive or taken off for the past year now. It does seem like this is an abandoned project, and I don't know if it's just going to sit in a shipyard and rot or what's going on with it right now, but it's just like their super stadium that they were trying to build for $1 billion. We get no updates on it, and it's being built in some forest area or something in and around China. So that is the latest update. They were banned from Twitter. It's not looking good. We'll see what happens with Titanic 2. I would expect an update probably within the next year on Titanic 2, on whether or not that project is actually going to happen, or they're just going to scrap it and then wait for someone else to try and do it, because I'm sure someone else is going to come along and want to do something like that. But either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description.